All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so tell me about tell me about those drone planes.
Well, a few nights ago, or about a week ago, I went outside at about, going on 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and, I went out for a smoke, and I looked up in the sky, and I was looking at the stars, and then I saw these drones, like satellites, that were, circular, and they were circling slowly across my neighbor's barn area and circling over my house slowly. And, it was one of them. And it kept circling, for probably a good half an hour. I was watching it kind of almost like a loony, just as it was circling back and forth, and then it would go halfway between the barn house and my house, and then it would stop. Like it would come to a point where it would blink with red on it, and then it got to the point where I got tired of looking at it, and that's when also I went back outside for another smoke, and then heard a loud bang, like almost like a car crash, but like it had to been fixed or something, but I don't know where the bang had come from. Just weird coincidences, and like people like constantly throughout my day. I mean, I have anxiety, agoraphobia disorder, and like throughout my day, like all day, I get mimicked from the stuff that I say subconsciously before it comes out. It's read like a book, and whether I like it or not, and there's nothing to say. They put stuff like in my subconscious to like, oh, you're a pervert, you're a molester, you're doing this wrong or that wrong. But like before I say something, I'll say it, but they'll say it ahead of me as I'm saying it. And I know I'm not schizophrenic. I know I'm not psycho. And they mimic me throughout the day. Whatever I say, wherever I go. Like when I'm going to the bathroom, they'll say, "Oh, he's disgusting. He's finally using the bathroom." Or I'll go to the shower, and I'll be like, "Yeah, he's showering. Yeah, he's doing real good. Oh, he's filthy." And it drags on, man. It carries out through the day to the point where, like, I also try to not talk back to it, the B2K or whatever the hell they're using on me.
Uh-huh.
But it gets to the point, it gets to the point where I start actually talking back, and sometimes, like, it's really not me, but I come off rude, and I'll say nasty stuff, like, to them, like, like, if I find you, like, I'm gonna beat the crap out of you, or, like, I'm gonna hurt you, just foul stuff. But if the more foul stuff I say, the more negative stuff comes back to me.
Well, wait, can you explain that? Like, you're going through gang stalking, and what you're saying is there's technology available to put thoughts into your consciousness. Like when I'm talking to you on the phone, people have the ability to enter thoughts into your consciousness to make you hear what they're saying. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, to make them, they put words in my head if I don't put words, and like if I'm not self-consciously, if I'm not like thinking, they'll put stuff in my head like, oh, he's racist, or like, you're perverted, or, you're a pill shopper, or just negative stuff. But then, like, when I start thinking with my own, like, when I just start thinking and like reading a book, or, going out, or skateboarding, like, in my self-conscious, right before I say it, it's the weirdest shit, dude. They'll know what I'm saying, and as I'm saying it, they'll be saying it as well. The exact words. And it gets to the point that it gets so frustrating, because nobody believes you. But, I've talked to my family, and they're starting to understand it a bit better.
I was telling you before, I spoke to somebody who was saying the same thing. I had somebody else email me, give me their phone number, and I called them, and they were experiencing the same thing, where they said there's a technology available where the person using the technology is able to implement thoughts into somebody's mind, like just like they're answering, just like you're answering the telephone with your consciousness. Then on MSNBC, there was a video where it was all over California how they were saying people were hearing voices that were being gang stalked. Remember, you saw that link? Did you saw?
Yeah,
that?
I actually saw it. It was about a few 6 or so gay guys,
Right.
and they were being harassed, but along with another 100 people. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nothing happened out of it.
Right. Right.
But like seeing that video, also I showed the relatives that I live with, my brother and my parents, about it, and they it's the exact same thing that's happening with me. It's like a monologue. Like they know what I'm doing, like when I'm going to do it before I even do it. It's very strange. It's like when I have to go to the bathroom, and I'm not trying to sound it is a bit embarrassing, to be honest, but like I'll have to go to the bathroom, and they know literally when I'm going to the bathroom, and I turn the lights on, and I use the bathroom, and like I'll start hearing like men just attack me with nasty thoughts, or like they'll say like, what are you thinking, and it'll echo in my head so bad that it literally like it causes a headache almost. It's like nowhere I go can I have privacy except when my eyes close when I go to sleep.
And have you also experienced things like people parked on the corner from your house, cars parked on the corner from you? Have you experienced stuff like that?
Yeah, every time that I just about every time I've left my house, especially when I go to the doctor's office or I'm going to the relative's house, there'll be a car that's halfway parked out of the driveway or parked on the far corner of the street, just parallel parked. And right when we drive off, what do you know? They drive towards us too. And then I see a bunch of cop cars, and I went to 7-Eleven, and we go into 7-Eleven, and there's like 7 or 8 sheriffs in there, like, all buying like slushies or something, like to drink, and it's just like it's just normal stuff you don't see in like wherever I go, like my new house that we're building and we're about to move into. A cop will slowly roll by, and then, as we're passing to go up to our car, one of the big van police cars will, slowly kind of yield and just kind of look at us.
And have you attempted to like wave at the people, like to be friendly with them?
Yeah, well, on occasion, like when I've been out skateboarding, since I'm agoraphobia, I don't get out as much. I'm more of a homebody, but as I've skateboarded, I've waved, but all of them are on half of them are on their cell phones, like kind of, not looking at me at all, but like sometimes, I'll get waves and whatnot, but it's just, there's, there's coincidences, and then there's shit that's just not paranoia. It's just stuff that adds up that doesn't make sense, like constantly being cut off or going in to buy, cigarettes or water or something to eat or drink, and then there'll be a guy selling over the counter illegally a pipe, and then telling us, oh, miss, ma'am, it'll only be a few minutes here, and they're doing illegal activity over the only one back there, just bugging me, and then going to Rayleigh's, going to any store, like, nobody likes emos, and then, like, I'll say to my mother, like, during that time, too, oh, I'm going to go use the restroom, and there's a guy, like, an aisle away down, he's going to the restroom. And I'm like, okay, this isn't stalking, I don't know what is,
I see the experiences I've had have been kind of similar to yours, just a little different. See, the thing about me is I have very little fear of the people around me. Like I go everywhere. I go to really nice areas and I wave and talk to the police. I go to the hood, and walk around by myself and wave and talk to people, wave and talk to the police, wave and talk to new people. I'm just very social, and one thing I noticed is they've had a tendency to not know how to deal with that. It seems like when I'm out and about, they become I don't know. They become like ineffective. The way I approach people, the way I talk to people, they don't seem to have that strong of a pull over society. Like with me, I seem to have a stronger pull into society than the gang stalking program does. And it wasn't like that at first, but it's like that now. And that seems to be something, I kept pushing through that fear. I kept waving at people. I kept talking to people. That was my mother. I keep interacting with people, and they seem to have lost their pull. And I'm wondering if that could be possible for you. Like, if you start interacting with these people more, will that change?
I think it might, but like wherever I go, man, there's people wherever I go. It's like they kind of like rubberneck and look at me, which is right. I mean, they can do that, but everywhere I go, there's always somebody that is staring at me, like making like assumptions, like giving me just kind of a dirty look, which is all right. But I mean, when it happens all the time, you kind of pick up on it, the coincidences. And I mean, I have not tried walking around and waving and saying hi to everybody. Like when I get out, I tend to mind my own business, but then it seems that everybody else knows my own business.
You know what, man? I talked to a seasoned FBI agent one time on a Greyhound bus, and he said he had been retired. He was like in his late 40s, early 50s, and he told me there's no such thing as coincidences. He said if I ever see something and it seems to be coincidence, he said it's never coincidence. No matter what it is, not one time is anything coincidence. I mean, that's what he told me, and I think he worked on a lot of bank robberies and a lot of cases involving he dealt with high profile criminals working in the FBI, and he said there's never one thing as a coincidence. When you first see something, pay close attention, pay attention to detail, and identify it, and go from there. He said don't let something fool you as being presented as a coincidence. Have you ever heard that?
No, I've never heard that, but that's kind of what I've been doing. Not out of paranoia, but out of you kind of as you grow up, you kind of learn how to be street smart, and you kind of notice stuff,
Mm-hmm.
that appears. You get cut off once, and you get cut off, 3 times once when you're driving, and then like people slowing down on you when you're driving, or looking at you weird, or like as I'm driving, I hear the electronic harassment, he's a psycho, he's turning here, knowing I'm being involved. But the weird thing is my mother can't hear it, but I know in my mind that I'm not schizophrenic. I'm not labeled any of that. I mean, I've been to the doctors, but all the doctors have done is prescribe me several pills to take for this. They have not admitted to gang stalking being real, and they think it's all just a fantasy, like guilt.
Now, you said you were prescribed to 7 different drugs by the doctor?
7 different drugs, yeah. I was put on lithium, Depakote, Seroquel, beta blockers, and clonazepam, 30 milligrams, and lithium to help me with these voices that are clearly
Right.
They're not
Right. They're applying they're prescribing you this medicine as if this is some sort of issue within yourself, like it's some sort of chemical imbalance or disorder that you have. When in reality, these voices are coming from the gang stalking program. And it's being used. There's technology being used to be able to do it. Then you said that you went and spoke to a therapist, and she would make you look into her eyes, and you had to tell her that the gang stalking wasn't real.
Exactly. What happened was I tripped out about it. She says, I looked into it and it's not real. And she's like, you got to trust me on this. And even when I called her when in a panic, she's like, you got to remember it's not real. And before I left the office this last time, I have to go to this office tomorrow, speaking, which is going to be a different kind of talk. I'm going to try and get off these things. But yeah, before I left the office, she said, I looked at her, she kept saying it wasn't real. She's like, you trust me? And trust me? And then I knew I didn't trust her, but I looked her right in the eyes because she kept saying it wasn't real. And I said to her, yeah, I believe you. But in my heart, I didn't know. I didn't believe it.
Well, the thing that
she thinks it's a fantasy. She thinks it's completely impossible.
The reason why I'm confused about her response, as a therapist, doesn't she know that the Department of Justice, which is the federal government, already admitted that gang stalking is real?
Not to my knowledge, no. To be honest, and it makes me kind of angry. She thinks she's looked into it, and she thinks it's only a conspiracy, and she says, you have to trust me on this, or you're going to end up in a mental hospital ward. That it is not real.
So she doesn't believe the United States government, basically, is what, I mean,
the thing that bothers me, dude, is she's had over 10 years of practice to become a psychiatrist or a therapist, right?
Right.
And she's really smart, but she says it's not real, and she has a computer sitting right by her. And I told her, can you look into it? And she's like, I've already looked into it. It's not real.
The former head of the Los Angeles FBI, Ted Gunderson, he was the head of the FBI for like over 20 years. He was a personal friend of Ronald Reagan at one time. He said he had been he talked about how he had been gang stalked, and he explained it, and he talked it out, and everything he said was completely accurate with everything I've experienced. And so I just get confused. It's like the United States government says gang stalking is real. The guy who was the head of Los Angeles FBI for 20 years actually got gang stalked himself and said it's real. And people are still walking around talking about that. It's like a theory or it's a conspiracy theory. It doesn't make sense. It's like when you have your own government telling you it's real, what more do you need?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how can you fight that? But I don't know if he just hasn't looked that far into it. But I even talked to my doctor, and he said, look, that is impossible. He said, we live in a new generation. And he's like, oh, I even play, video games myself. And, he's kind of a home buddy or whatever. He works 2 days out of the week on a shift. Anyways, he says the only way for anybody to read any kind of pulse in her mind would be to have actual wires stuck to your head. And that's the only way that somebody could actually electronically do anything to you.
No. There was a congressional hearing back in the 1970s where I don't know who the director was there was a couple of directors in the 70s, but they had called the director of the Central Intelligence Agency actually admitted that they had that technology, that they could under the MK Ultra program. And this was the United States government who the congressional hearing. The United States government asked them, and they admitted. They said, "Yeah, we do that. We got that. We experimented with that. But guess what? We also destroyed a lot of the documents, so we have very little to show you. If you want to know specifically which one of our agents used the technology and who they used it on, we don't have that. But we're going to tell you it's real, and we have experimented with it, and it is effective, and we do use it." That was in the 1970s. That wasn't in the 1990s. That was in the 70s. So if they could do that in the 1970s, why would a doctor say they couldn't do it now? That's what I don't get.
Yeah, man. That's just it. Technology back then, a computer was the size of what,
And no, but listen, they had been doing that since the 50s. The only reason why it came out in the 70s is because Congress put them on the floor. They didn't invent this stuff in the 70s. They had this stuff since the 50s. But the only reason why it came out in the 70s is because the United States government put them on the United States government made them talk about it in a congressional hearing. And they said, yeah, we got it. So, right. So if they could do it, if they were doing it, my God, they were doing this. My mother is like, my mother's like 62, 63. So if they were doing this, when she was born, that was like 53. And so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, I haven't heard anything like that. My family, my brother is very, very. He's a very smart guy, and he tells me that shit can't even happen in Star Trek. And like I talked to him, and it's hard. Like, I mean, it's hard even talking with you right now because I know, not out of paranoia, but well, a little bit, to be honest. I know I'm being watched and I'm being listened to, and when, like, my focus kind of starts to drift, like, I start hearing, like, stuff like, oh, you're psycho, or, he's, this or that, or what, all just a bunch of, rumbling crap.
So even right now, as you speak to me, you're saying you're being targeted through the gang stalking program with technology that's giving you subliminal thought, like communicating to your mind thoughts. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, communicating to my mindset. Well, saying, I guess you would call it voice to school. I mean, I'm not really accurate with the technology, but it's in my head saying, like, you're psycho. If I start to drift, it's like having to hold the weight steady. And if I go a little bit, like, I start drifting a little bit, they start putting stuff into my head, like, just repeated thoughts, like psycho or pervert. Do
you think there's a connection with the drugs? I mean, the prescribed drugs that a doctor gives you. Do you think you're more susceptible to this influence because of the drugs?
Well, in a way, because there's the antipsychotic. I mean, lithium. I mean, the stuff that I'm on. I mean, I'm an educated young guy, and the stuff that they have me on is literally. I mean, I don't want to be thick about it, but it's stuff to keep people from walking in the middle of the streets at night. And yeah, I mean, it makes me really vulnerable when I take these medications.
Now I've been drugged. I've had my food drugged when I went out to eat. Nothing the gang stalking program had to offer could disconnect me. It always made me 110% better no matter what. And when I was going out to eat in Phoenix, they started drugging my food then because they were like, man, this guy, we can't do nothing to him. He's happy. He's out communicating with people. He's having the time of his life. There's nothing we can literally do. Let's drug his food. And so they drugged my food, and even when they drugged my food, I got 10 times more active. I came back here I live in North Shores, Michigan. I came back here. They realized, oh, just drug his food. You go to eat. They drugged my food. I kicked it into high gear, man. Went out, started jump roping, passing out flyers. Why I was high on the drug, dude. I'm not playing with you. Why I was high on the drug. I was out there bombing them with flyers, everything, just letting them know what's up, telling them who I am. I go over to somebody's house. The gang stalking program, they set up shop. They like to set up shop and pay everybody off and get everybody involved in it. So when I go to a new area, I just immediately start chopping it up with people. I just let them know my name, JAMEEL RAWLS. I'm famous. Google me. Did a bunch of interviews in Hollywood. Got set up to get killed by the elites of the world, secret societies. Beat that 110% no matter what. I'm one person in the world to beat gang stalking. Just went through that. Year of that. Beat that. Now I'm out here telling people how they can beat it, grinding through it. You know what I mean? And before I know it, dude, I'll have more influence over a neighborhood than the gang stalking people. If they're still gang stalking me, I'll still have more influence over them. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
That's nuts, dude. It's the counter opposite with me. I mean, it makes me vulnerable to the point where, like, they remind me, like, oh, like, you're targeted, or like, you're gonna get your ass beat. Like, I hear that all the time.
Dude, you're targeted. I'm gonna tell you right now, man. The only reason you're talking to me is because you're targeted for success. That's it. You're targeted. You're talking to the only person in the world. I'm telling you, dude, this program is gonna make you a better person. You're gonna grind through this, man. Whatever they.
Well, in a sick way, like not a sick way, bro, but in a weird way, it kind of has. It's like I feel like I'm being monitored when I go to the bathroom. I feel like they're trying to change my self-conscious thoughts into things that they're not. And like I used to isolate in my room. I did it for like 5 years, dude, like with depression, drinking, alcohol, and just being like lonely. And now it's to the point where it's like I'm more fed up, not in a bitter way, but I just like, if you guys want this, like this is what you're gonna get. And like I started coming out more. I started skateboarding a little more. I started like being a service proactive, like going out and sleeping our deck, the lawns, and plants and watering and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But I still get more. I get more harassed. I do, and I have to still at least doing something, positive.
You're not. Yeah, man. You just got to keep grinding. That harassment. The more you get harassed, the more you know you're breaking out of it, man. Like with me, dude. They tried everything on me. I love the gang stalking program. That may sound shocking to you, but I'm telling you, man, the gang stalking program has made me 110% successful no matter what. Listen to this, man. I never kissed a girl's hand in my life. After being put in the gang stalking program, dude, I be out there kissing girls' hands, flirting with them, blowing kisses at them and stuff, talking to them. If I get close to them, if I can game one of them, I'd be holding their hands, walking down the street and stuff like that. I'm telling you, man, the gang stalking program made me more social. I wave at cars. If I go out walking around on the streets, especially if I leave my neighborhood, I'll be waving at, like, the area I live in. I don't really get too active with it, but once I leave, I'll be out there. I'm a beast, dog. I just let loose. I'll be out there waving. I'm serious, man. I'm serious, man. You're gonna have it like that too. Watch. If you keep talking to me, man, you're gonna beat the program 110% no matter what. And that's why they're targeting you. Does it seem like they got more worse on you?
Well, man, like I can tell you one thing is that when I go to sleep and hang from the meds, I'll have weird, like sometimes horrible dreams, like somebody breaking into my house and killing my brother, and then like just horrible, like kind of like gore, like weird dreams. And then I'll wake up and my head will be throbbing, like it's a migraine, but it's a migraine like where your ears are, where you can't even like reach the throbbing part. You just sit there and you almost want to go to the hospital over it. I'm not trying to play a violin over it or anything, but like it happens so often, and then they start really like harassing you when that happens.
Damn, dog, that's messed up. You said when you wake up, they were attacking you at night or something with the electronical stuff.
Yeah, man. I have weird ass dreams, man. Like my brother getting killed, and then like some guy like coming after me, and I'd wake up from the nightmare, man, and like I would have to put a blanket on the floor because my body heat temperature was so hot.
Dude,
look. Lay down on the floor, and my head would be throbbing, and it got to the point where I almost had like a tantrum, dude. I almost had to go to the hospital.
Let me tell you about this. I went to a funeral, and they had, guess what? This was broad daylight, right? They had the lights on the hearse. You know how I was talking about the gang stalkers with me? They used the lights on and stuff in broad daylight. They had the lights on the hearse at the funeral I went to. The program don't be playing, man. The program don't be playing. Then they heard me. Then they had this fine ass light skinned black chick, man, walking down the aisle with me. You should have saw how fat her ass was at the funeral. And so what were
you doing at the funeral?
No, it was a funeral I was attending. And
yeah, I mean, they actually were. That's horrible.
Dude, they had the hearse. They had the lights on the hearse, and they had a girl following me everywhere, and I didn't know her. And she was fine as hell, man. She was so damn fine, dog. And she was following me everywhere. And because she was following me everywhere, everybody was just looking at me like damn, who is that? That's, you know, like that's his wife or something like that. She was following me everywhere, fine as hell. I was like, that's the glory I get out of the program, though, dog. That's the glory I get. You know how we do it, huh? Hey, it's cool though. Like I got. Sometimes I talk to this chick on the phone, and I can hear my voice. She cannot hear it on her end, but on my end, they got it so I can hear my voice echoing. And so
that's what mine does
too. Right. So I can, like, if I talk, especially if I got on speakerphone, I'll say like and it'll come back like and so I'll be on there talking to her and stuff like that. And I can hear it's like I get happy about it because it's like special effects. I'm like, hell yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? The program be laying it down, dog.
That's what I have a lot. I guess that's the best way to describe it with the mimicking. It's like echoes of your own voice, but instead with me, it's like actual like man and girl, mimicking what I say, But yeah, that's insane.
Dog, you gotta rewrite your story, dude. You gotta rewrite your story. You gotta be like. You gotta come out, you gotta come out and start telling people, man, you gotta be like, I'm a modern medical miracle. I'm psychic, and I opened up my pineal gland to the third dimension, and now I can hear voices from people who need my help. And you know what I mean? Turn yourself into like a superhero. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be laying it down. I wish I had it like that. I'd be out there.
Like I was at the record store, man. I saw a couple of your videos, and I was in the record store, and I just kept saying to myself in my head, and I sounded kind of crazy. I was like, you know what? I'm saying, and like, seeing what kind of reactions, and I did get told a little bit in the store, but it was such a big store that, like, I mean, it was obvious you saw somebody kind of watching you, but I just kept saying the same thing. I'm famous, man. In my head.
You gotta tell them. See, the thing about that is some people will hear you say that and they'll be like, man, what are you famous for? But other people will be tripping. They're like, for real, you're famous? I'm like, yeah, why do you think you got paid to follow me, dog? You know who I am? Google me. You know what I mean? I just pretend like it's real. I just be like, I'm famous. Famous! And I'd be, you know what I'm saying? They like, especially, I'd be having so much energy with it too. I'd be like, I'm famous. I'm famous. You gotta I'd be running it on the females, dog. I'm like, I'm famous. I say it, they be like, for real? For real? For real? Like that. I'm like, yeah, get my number now. You got the opportunity. Don't you know I'm famous? Damn it. That's how you gotta be, man. You just gotta run it down on them. I just be like, I just tell them, I'm gonna, just tell them for the time being, I'm, only person that beat Gangsta. I'm in a league of my own, and they be like, damn. When they hear it, they get so blown away. You know what I mean? You just gotta rewrite your story,
I know it, man. Like I told my ex-girlfriend I dated for a long time in New York about, targeting individuals. Like, I want to be targeted too. She was like, I just stopped work about it, and I said, he creeped her out, but she still, accepted it. How much he believed of it, I'm not sure, but it's nuts. And then she looked it up, and I called her back. She's like, "No, man, that shit's crazy,"
Dude, what's your personal opinion? Do you think it would ever go, like if you just stopped caring about it and just went on with your life? Do you think it would ever go away, or do you think they'll always try to be there in your life?
At the moment, I think it's gonna be here for a while because the mimicking, I get that more than I get the stalking. When I get the stalking, it's more of not harassment, it's more of on the insult side. It's about personal information that only I would know about in my own private home.
I don't want it to go away with me because I actually need it because I'm setting up training courses for people who aren't being gang stalked and who don't know what it is. If they follow me, then they'll get to experience it. See what I'm saying? I'll get to show them all the stuff about it. And so I'm setting up training courses for people who want to learn how to get through agitation and stuff like that and learn from my experience, or they want to learn how to be able to just beat gang stalking in case it does happen to them. You know what I mean? And so,
right.
I mean, it's heavily financed, dude. They hire a lot of people to do it. So hell, I'm gonna use it as an opportunity, and I'm setting up, the training course.
Yeah, that's what I feel like when I'm out with my brother or my mom or something. I'm like, it's a matter of time before these coincidences are gonna add up, bro, and like people are gonna see this, what's going on.
Yeah, no doubt. And
like I feel like my self-conscious mind, like your self-conscious mind isn't always right. And when they put stuff in it constantly, I mean, it does honestly kind of jar you. But like, it's kind of like just getting smacked in the lip. You take it, and you just kind of keep going with it.
Oh yeah.
It's hard to explain. I mean, to the average person, it sounds psycho. But I mean, I can tell you from the bottom of my heart that this has happened to me. And I don't know why. I haven't done anything bad. I'm a good guy. I mean, I have long hair, I have tattoos, but, I like pool wells and chains and stuff, but that's it, man. I'm just a normal guy that skates, and, I don't know. I guess I was just a random target.
Do you, what about the females? Have they thrown those fucking model chicks at you? Excuse my language.
One time when we were at the store, there was a girl on Peak that was strolling by, but she had a baby, and then walking in, like, you would see groups of girls that were, good looking, and, like, that would pass by. They wouldn't say anything, but they would, silently pass by. But it's more or less when I'm in, that could be a coincidence, but it's more or less wherever I go, like the book section or the electronics or, any part of the store, it's like there'll be somebody by the aisle kind of idling, doing nothing, or there'll be somebody on the other side mimicking my self-conscious thoughts.
Man, they had a group of girls, man. They were so damn fine. They were at this mall. This was a while back. And the gang stalking program thought I was gonna punk out and not say nothing to them. And I just walked up to them. I was like, you ladies have greatness within you. You ladies have greatness within you. And they got all happy and just started laughing and stuff and like snickering amongst each other and stuff like that. And then they were like walking away. And as they were walking away, one of them looked back at me. And she was fine as hell. And I was just knowing if it hadn't been for the gang stalking program, boy, I would have pulled me one of them. You know what I mean? I would have pulled me. See, dog, I live at my mother's house, and I'm not able to, for a long time, it's been a situation where I'm not able to bring females back here. And so when I go out, I always went far away from my neighborhood to find females and then take them somewhere else. I go back to their place with them. But now I'm getting to the point to where, like I said, even my own mother gang stalks. So I don't care. I just tell people as it is. I don't have a car. I'm living at my mother's house. When I do odd jobs like mow grass, do roofing, help people from time to time. You know what I'm saying? What I want, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring out the greatness with you. I'm the only person who will ever beat gang stalking. JAMEEL RAWLS. Explain to him who I am. I'm a league of my own, worldwide. I just bring the rap down on him, man. And I bring it. You know what I'm saying? I bring him. I'm gonna get me a fine one. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get me a fine one. I'm gonna say gang stalking program. Can you take her? That's what I'm gonna tell the gang stalking program. Take her. Can you take her? Can you pay her? She ain't going nowhere. Watch. You want me to tell the program to take her. Take her. See if you can get her. She ain't gonna go nowhere. See what I'm saying? Huh?
I haven't had that occasion at funerals or anything like with hot girls. If anything, I've had situations a long time ago in the past with cops. I've had 2 DUIs and stuff, and like cops kind of like a cop phobia, and that explains like a lot. Like wherever I go, it's like I see cop cars as if like I'm like almost like a terrorist. But dude, it's like wherever I go, it's like they're there. Or it'll be like a nice car slowly walking by, or like a car honking randomly at us, at me or me and my mother, It's,
So I be trying to hitchhike. I be throwing up the hitchhiking sign. I be trying to get rides from them.
trying to get rights. Yeah.
Man, most of those people are scared, dog. They have people pretending like they were trying to hit me on the street. I was walking in front of their cars. Like, go ahead and hit me. That's just more glory to my story. We're gonna do it. They got some scary cats. I make them stronger. They derive strength from me. I benefit the gang stalkers.
Well, that's the part I don't understand, and I mean, I'm not trying to be like a hard ass or anything, but it's like sometimes I say, what, dude, let's see what the worst you can do, and like, I'll be in the parking lot alone, or I'll be skateboarding alone, and it's just like, or like, I know for a fact that my neighbors are probably gonna cross from me back their little farmhouse they got, and it's like, what are you gonna do? And like, it ends up being, it's all filtered in your mind.
Right.
Exactly. But like, they can still insult you and put you down, like through like I don't know their electronic stuff. But like, what is the worst you can actually do? Give me your worst, and they can't do anything, or they haven't at least.
All they done is make my life better. I mean, I love the gang stalking program. It's made my life better, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for too. I mean, it has made me more proactive. It's like, doing stuff, getting out, actually learning more stuff about my family, past and my grandfather, everything. I've become kind of closer with my family. I stopped isolating. In a way, it's helped because like I have to tell people that I'm going through this, whether they think that crazy or not. And my mother's starting to finally understand and believe it after seeing the several videos and that MSNBC, and it's like, wow, this stuff does exist.
Well, that's the positive thing of the program. For a long time when I was doing my conspiracies, my mother, she didn't know anything about conspiracies, and so she always thought I was just tripping. And then when I told her about, when I told her about the gang stalking stuff, she thought I was tripping. Then they started paying her off, and so now she knows I'm not tripping, and plus she buys me extra stuff. So, I'm telling you.
Yeah, she gets money from it or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much that; it's just that she feels like guilty or something. But I'm glad because now she knows everything I said was real.
Yeah, no, and that's it. That's where I'm getting with mine. And she's starting to, she's starting to understand from the videos I've seen, and I keep telling her, I'm like, Mom, I know, about you just look out for coincidences, like look out for what's happening. And, we do get caught off. There is cars, random like stage shows. There was another incident in some more of the homebody. I walked out of my yard and somebody let a dog off the leash, and they could keep running at my fence and like barking and kind of biting, and it was in the middle of the dark, and then it went away. It was just, it's just like stupid scare tactics that it's like really, are you guys gonna go that low? Like I sometimes I don't understand why people do this to other people, and especially, putting your kids in it, and just like going by my window, my living room window, and I'm reading a book, and somebody's blatantly picking cherries off my, lawn and by my tree, and then they'll like gaze into my window. Like, it's like, what are you staring at? I mean, is it like a mirror to you, or like, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but like, it's just kind of like they're acting like aliens or something,
Yeah, dude. When people do that gang stalking, they start looking weird, man. Like, they start looking like robotic. It's hard to explain it. They don't look like people anymore. They start looking like robots or something.
Yeah, it's just it's very out of the normal. It's like they'll walk by, and then they'll walk by the house slowly, and another person will pass, and for instance, I was going went to the bathroom, and then when I was feeling sick, and I went to the bathroom, and when I got out of the bathroom, I went outside to have a cigarette, and these group of weed cutter like I don't know, these maintenance guys started just like laughing, like like looking my way towards the fence, and it's just like okay, like just weird, just stuff like that to try and get at me, I guess.
Hell yeah, bro. Hey, man, we've been doing this recording for like 46 minutes. I'm going to put it on stop, all right?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.